Hello everyone, welcome to 30 Days Data Science Project Challenge Series playlist. In this video, we are going to create a ChatGPT clone. So as we all know, most of the time nowadays, many learners, many students, they are using a ChatGPT whenever they face any types of the query, or whenever they have any types of the query, or whenever they are going to create any types of the post related to Instagram or the Twitter or the LinkedIn. So most of the time nowadays, many students, many learners, they are using a ChatGPT to resolve their issues. So what we are going to do in this particular project, so we are going to create a complete ChatGPT clone where we can ask any types of the query, and based upon the query our application, it will respond. Okay, so what I'm going to do, let's start with the first of all, let's try to do a complete project setup, and after that we can write a code. So here under the readme file that I have mentioned a complete procedure how that we can do the setup. So let me open my terminal from here and let's do the setup, because what I have seen in a comment, many people they face a lot of the issues whenever they are going to create a setup. Okay, so let me do it each and everything in a live session so that the parallelly you can do the setup, and after that we can write a complete code. So let me create the environment first of all. So we are going to write a command called conda create -p venv. So this is the environment name that we are going to write. You can write anything, whatever the environment name that you want to give, like your name, my name, anything. Python equal to, make sure you can use the same version 3.8-y. So here that we are going to create the new environment with the name of venv. Okay, after that we can activate our environment. So here we have our command, so conda activate venv, or let's say if you are using OA like some other operating system like Linux, in this case that you can use this particular command, a source activate venv. After that what I'm going to do, so here I'm going to create one more file called requirements.txt, and under this particular requirement.txt, like I will add two requirements. First that we will add here a Flask, let me add a Flask, and second that we can add a OpenAI. We are going to use a OpenAI API, and with the help of OpenAI API we can clone a complete ChatGPT. Okay, make sure whenever you are going to install the OpenAI, try to install the same version 0.27.0. okay, so same version that we can use, and then we can create a complete ChatGPT clone. Okay, so first that we can activate the environment, and after that we can install our all the requirements file, whatever the requirements that we have mentioned. Now what I'm going to do, so here that I'm going to create one more file. So let me create one file here, a config.py file. So config.py. now in this particular config.py file what we can do, so we can pass our OpenAI API key. So here let me write API underscore key. A later part that I will write a complete my API key, but let me show you from where that you will get the OpenAI key. So first of all that we can open our Chrome, and in a Chrome that you need to search openai.com, and here first of all that you need to log in on this particular platform. So if you are going to create a first time this particular website, in this case first of all you need to do the sign up, after that log in on this particular platform, and after logging, so you will get the window like this one. So if I show you, see, yes, ChatGPT and the API, so in this way that you will get the complete window. So first of all you need to sign up, you need to create your account, and after that you will get this types of the window. Now from here that we need to click on the API. So let me click on the API, let me close the some other windows. Okay, now this is the complete platform that we will get. So welcome to the OpenAI developer platform, and after that here that we have our complete profile. So we can click on the profile. So let me click on the personal profile or any profile that you need to select. After that here that you can see we are getting a setting, usage, files, API key. So we need to click on the API key. So let me click on the API key, and here as you can see we are getting the option to create a new secret key. So we can click on here, so create a new secret key. We can write any name, whatever the name that you want, and then click on the new secret key. So I already have created a secret key, so this particular secret key that I'm going to use. So in this way that you can create your complete account over the OpenAI website, and after that you need to create your OpenAI API key and the same API key that we can use here. So first of all, whatever the API key that you will get, so let's say this is the OpenAI key that you have, so you need to copy this particular API key, and after that you need to paste here. Later part I will write my OpenAI key here. Okay, now first that we need to create a config.py file, and then here we need to pass our complete OpenAI key. Now let's activate our environment. So our complete environment creation is completed. Now second command that we have to activate our environment. So as we all know, I am using the Windows operating system. In this case that I am going to use a Conda. Let's say if you are using a Linux operating system, in this case that you can use a source, activate, and then your environment name. Let me write it down. And now we are able to activate our environment, so it will take a few seconds, and after that we can install our all the requirements files. So now as you can see, we are able to activate our environment. So let me clear my screen, and now I am going to install our requirements file. So pip install -r requirements.txt. Let me press the enter button. Okay, so it will take again a few seconds to install our all the requirements. Meanwhile, let me close our files. Okay, now what I am going to do, so here to clone our complete ChatGPT platform, that I am going to use a Flask API. Okay, and for the web creation that we can use HTML, CSS, JavaScript, and the Bootstrap. Okay, so let's try to create a simple Flask application first, and then we can do the modification in our Flask application, and then we can create a complete ChatGPT clone. So here I am going to create one file first of all. So app.py, let me press the enter button. Okay, so this is the app.py file that we have. Now what we are going to do, so let's first of all try to import Flask, and then we can create a simple Flask application. So here from Flask we are going to import a Flask here. Now after that I'm going to create a Flask object. So app equal to Flask underscore underscore name underscore underscore. So this is the Flask object we are going to create first. Okay, now after that we can define a route. So let me define a route. So app dot route, and in this particular route that we are going to access our complete application over this particular slash. Okay, now we can create a function so that we can return some of the like any types of the string word that we can return. So let me define a function. So define a function, and we are going to call a function name called index, and then we are going to add a return statement called this is our first Flask application. Okay, later part that we can do the modification in a same file, and then we can convert this particular app file into the our ChatGPT clone. So that's why the first that we are going to create a simple Flask based application. Now what I'm going to do, so here I'm going to add an entry point so that we can test our app.py file. So let me add an entry point. So if underscore underscore name underscore underscore equal to underscore underscore main, and then we can call our this particular app variable. So app.run. Okay, so now debug equal to true if you want. In this case that we can pass a debug equal to true as well. By default the port number that we have here are 5000. Okay, so this is a simple Flask based application that we have here, that we are going to call a route so that we can access our application, and then we will get the return statement called this is our first Flask application. Okay, now let me clear my screen so that we can test this particular app.py file. So yes, now we are going to run. So python app.py. Let me press the enter button, and whenever we press the enter button that we will get the link. So as you can see here we are getting a complete HTTP link. So let me copy this particular link. Let me open my Chrome browser, and here that we are going to paste the same link. Now let me press the enter button. Whenever we press the enter button that we will get our return statement called this is our first Flask application. Okay, so this is the output that we are getting, our complete return statement, and the same return statement that we have here. So yes, our app.py file is working fine. Now what I'm going to do, so let me interrupt this particular set, let me clean, and let me go down. So let me close here right now. Now what I'm going to do, so now I'm going to copy the complete code, because the later part I need to provide you the complete code. So for this purpose that I'm going to create the separate file. So main.py py, and now we can write our complete code in this particular main.py file. So first of all, let me copy the complete code from here so that we can use some of the code from here, and then let me paste. Okay, now what we are going to do, so now first of all that we can import our OpenAI, we can import our config. So from the config that we can import our API. Okay, so let me go here and let me import first of all. So import OpenAI, we are going to use OpenAI API key. Now here we can import our config file as well. So import a config. Okay, so config, so we can just import the config. Okay, so now we are able to import OpenAI as well as a config. Okay, now what we are going to do, so we are going to call our OpenAI. So OpenAI, no, not this one, direct we can call OpenAI. So OpenAI dot API key, so API underscore key equal to dot, we can call a config file, and from the config file we can call this particular API key variable, so that we can access this particular API, and with the help of this particular API that we can generate a responses like whatever the ChatGPT clone that we are going to create. So in our clone, ChatGPT clone, that we can generate a complete responses with the help of OpenAI key. So let me define here, so main.py file, and after that we are going to call config.api key. Okay, so with the help of this particular line that we will get our complete API key from our config.py file. Okay, now what I'm going to do, so here that we are going to import some more library, like we can import a request, we can import a render template, because the going forward that we can create one templates folder as well. Okay, so let me import here, so render underscore template, and apart from this one that we are going to import a request library as well, so that we can send a get and post request. Okay, now what we are going to do, so now we are going to create a route here. So yes, this is the route that we have, and in this particular route what we are going to do, so we are going to do the modification. So as this is the return statement that we have, so now we are going to change this particular return statement, and here we are going to call the render template, and the render template that we can return our HTML file. Right now index.html file. So right now we did not have the index.html file, right? So let's try to create here. So first that we are going to create here one templates folder. So templates, and in this particular templates folder that we can create one file. So index.html. Okay, so this particular index.html file that we can create, and we can write our complete code under this particular index.html, so that we can create a web application with the help of HTML, CSS, JavaScript, and the bootstrap. Okay, so what I'm going to do, let me go back first of all under our main.py file, later part that we can write under our index.html. So later part that we can write a complete code. So now here we are able to return our home page called index.html. Now what I'm going to do, so now that I'm going to write a second route, so app dot route, and here we are going to call /get. So we are going to pass a get request here. Okay, so let me write in this case, so we need to write this one. Okay, so we are going to pass a get request, and based upon the get request, our OpenAI key, it will generate a complete answers. Okay, so based upon our get request, so we are going to define a function. So define a function, and the function name that we are going to write, so get about response. Okay, so this is the function we are going to create. Now what I'm going to do, so in this particular function, let me add in this case, so later part that we can write. Okay, so what we are going to do in this particular function, first of all that we can define a variable one. So user text equal to, so here in a user text variable that we are going to request a message, whatever the query that we have as a user, whatever the query that we have, so we can send a request to our OpenAI key, and after that our OpenAI key, it will respond back. So first that we can send a user request to our bot, to our ChatGPT clone. So let me write request dot args dot get. So we are going to send a get request, and the get request that we can write as a message. Okay, so as a message that we can write a complete get request. Now based upon the get request, then our OpenAI API, it will generate a complete answer. So first that we are going to send a get request. Now based upon this particular get request, then upon OpenAI key, it will generate a complete answer. So let me create a variable called response equal to, here we are going to call OpenAI. So first that we can copy this particular OpenAI from here. So OpenAI dot, we have a function called completion. So in a OpenAI that we have a function called completion dot create. So completion dot create, and in this particular create that we are going to define a multiple parameters. Okay, so the multiple argument that we can define. So if I show you here, so let me open my browser, and after that here we are going to search OpenAI completion create, and let me go over here. So definitely that we will get some of the responses. So again that we can search the OpenAI key, so that I will show you some of the examples here. So API references that we will get here. So let's wait a few seconds. Now if I show you below, so optional, as you can see the configuration that we have, audio, no, so this is for the, like we need for the text, right? So completion, let me go back here in a completion, and in a completion that we are getting, no, not this one. I need something specific so that I will show you. So what I can do, let me go back here in a gig for gig. Okay, so definitely that we will get something. So let me check once. So if I show you here, yeah, so as you can see here, first of all that we are going to call our responses. So response OpenAI key completion dot create. So the model name, so here we can define some of the argument called model name that we can define. We can define the prompt, we can define the max token, we can define the in input. So these are the some of the parameter that we have. So we can define these types of the parameter. So using the OpenAI completion model that help us to execute our code or whatever the responses that we want. So with the help of the completion module, it will help us to execute our complete query, whatever the query that we have asked, and based upon the query that we will get a complete responses with the help of OpenAI dot completion dot create. So it will create a complete, or it will execute, it will help us to execute our query, and based upon the query that we will get our complete responses, right? So let me go back again. So here again that we are going to call the OpenAI dot completion dot create, and here that we are going to pass some of the argument. So the first argument that we are going to define a engine. So in a engine that we can define, so if I show you again our browser here, so yes, first that we can define the module, or we can write a engine as well, module or the engine, anything that we can write. So what we are going to do, so we are going to use a module. So what I'm going to do, let me go back here, and over the official documentation that we will get the documentation. So here as you can see we have the option, so even that you can search the documentation as well. Okay, so in the documentation that we are getting a section called model, and in the models that we have the multiple models. So as you can see a GPT-4, GPT-4 Turbo, GPT 3.5, a DALE, TTS, Whisper, embedding, moderation GPT, and the many models that we have. So what we are going to do, so from here we are going to use we can use a GPT 3.5 Turbo, or let's use a DaVinci. So text DaVinci that we are going to use, so text DaVinci 3, so 003. So this particular model that we are going to use. So let me define here, so text DaVinci 003. So this is the model that we are going to use. Now after that we can define a prompt. So prompt equal to prompt that we can define our user prompt. So this particular prompt that we can define, so user prompt. After that next parameter that we have, we need to pass a max token. So whatever the user that we need to pass, like the max token, so we can pass here the max token as well. So let me define here max underscore tokens that we can pass. So tokens equal to, let's pass the max tokens called 1024. Okay, so here the maximum number of the tokens in a generated response. So whatever the response that we will get, so we will get under the 1024, a maximum token that we will get 1024. It means the maximum word that we will get, a complete generated response that we will get under 1024. Now after that next argument that we can define the n. So n equal to, that we are going to call n equal to 1. So n is a number of completion generated result. So whatever the generated result that we will get, so that's why here we are going to set a number of completion generated result. Now apart from this one, that we can pass a temperature as well. So let me pass a temperature. So temperature equal to that we are going to call 1. So what is temperature here? So temperature, it's control our randomness of our output data. So whatever the output that we can generate based upon our user message, so whenever we will get our complete output, so it will help us to randomize our, or we can say the randomness of our complete output. Okay, now after that, one more argument that we can pass. So next argument that we are going to pass a stop. So stop equal to none. So what is the meaning of stop here? So stop this particular condition, stop the generation. In this case that we are going to set a none, so that let's say if I'm going to set something else apart from the none, so in this case that whenever we generate our complete responses, in between that we will get the stop button. So right now that we are going to set stop equal to none. Okay, now what I'm going to do, so let me go back again. So these are the some of the argument that we are going to pass, and after that what we can do, so we can return a answer. So let me define here. So answer equal to that we are going to call our response variable. This particular response variable we are going to call. So response, this particular variable that we can call. So in the responses that we will get the response, and after that we are going to pass some of the arguments. So whatever the responses that we will get based upon this particular OpenAI completion.create module, based upon that we will get the responses. So here we are going to call the answer equal to responses. Now in this particular responses, as you can see, first of all that we are going to call a choices. So this particular choices key, it's associated with our responses, so that whatever the answers or responses that we will get based upon our query, so it will set a complete dictionary. So here we are going to call first argument called choice, and after that we are from our responses, whatever the responses that we will get, we are going to retrieve the first element from our list of our obtained output, whatever the output that we will get based upon this particular OpenAI.completion.create. So from here that we are going to retrieve our first element, or we can say the index 0 from our responses, okay, or from our obtained results. So we are going to call 0, it means the first, we are going to retrieve the first element. Okay, now after that whatever the output that we are getting here, so from this particular output that we are going to access only the text output, whatever the text output that we have. So let me call here a text. Okay, so with the help of this particular answer variable, first that we are getting a complete responses. From our responses that we are going to retrieve our first element, we can say the first element from our obtained answers, and from the obtained answers that we are going to retrieve only the text. Okay, now choices that we need to call the choices. Okay, now after that what we are going to do, so next that we can call we can return our answer. So let me return here, so return the answers. So this particular answer variable that we are going to return, so return the answers, and now this particular answers that we will get in a string. So let me add as a string. As we all know, this is the text that we are going to retrieve from our obtained result. So that's why we are going to call here a string, because whatever the answers that we will get in a text format, we have in a string format, all the text that we have in a string format, right? So that's why we are going to return our complete answers in a string format. Now this is all about our model. Okay, so we have created a two route. First is a function where we are going to return our index.html, and based upon the second route that we are going to pass a get request, and in a get request that we are going to send a message, and based upon the message here that we are going to create our complete responses. So OpenAI.completion.create, we are going to pass a model, so text DaVinci. Now prompt, so whatever the user prompt that we have, a maximum tokens 1024 in number, so 1, temperature, so randomness of our output 1, and the stop that we are going to set none here. Okay, now based upon this one that we are going to generate our complete answers, and then from our answers that we are going to retrieve a first elements, and from our first elements of the output that we are going to retrieve only a text output, or we can say the text responses. Okay, now this is all about our main.py file. Now what I'm going to do, so now it's time to write a code under our index.html file. So I already have a complete code related to our index.html file. So what I can do, let me copy and paste our complete code here. So yes, this is the complete code that we have. So what we are going to do here, we are going to set first of all a title. So OpenAI GPT chat. So this is the title that we are going to set, and these are the complete style that we have for the, if you want, we can update the complete color. So a body color, a container color, as well as chat colors, then group item, output, submit button. So these are the color you need to do the modification, depends upon your interest or depends upon your user interface. Okay, now here we have our body. So we are going to call the container, and this is the h2 tag that we are going to add. So OpenAI GPT chat. Okay, now here we are going to call in a div that we are going to call the chat messages. So chat windows that we are going to create, and based upon the chat windows that we are going to enter some of the user text, or we can say the user query that we are going to write. So user input, and based upon the user input, as you can see here, we are going to set the placeholder. So type your message, and now after that we have our submit button. Whenever we click on the submit button, then our ChatGPT module, so this particular OpenAI.completion.create module, it will generate a complete output. So here we are going to call, okay, so we are getting the complete output, and based upon this one that we are going to use here a complete ajax. Okay, now based upon the ajax, and we can say the jQuery, that we are going to generate a complete output. So output message in a text format, whatever the data that we are going to call, so it will display the complete output. Now here we are going to call clear the field. So whenever we can ask the query, our complete field, it will get clear. Field, it means the where we are going to write our query. Even I will show you, so don't worry. Okay, so these things is related to the web development, so don't worry for this one. Again, like this particular complete code, it's created by my developer, okay, not by me, so don't worry. Okay, at the end, whenever you work in any types of the industry, so web development part is totally up to the web development team. Okay, so this is not your work. You need to focus on the building a application, not a like the development part, we can say the UI part. Okay, so you just need to focus on a main application. Okay, so yes, now what we are going to do, so now we are going to open our terminal so that we can test our application. So let me open our terminal. Here that we are going to select the command prompt, and we are going to write a main.py file. So we are going to run the main.py file, but before this one I need to define my OpenAI key here, right? So what I'm going to do, so let me define my OpenAI key. So but before this one, what I'm going to do, so let me go below, because I did not want to show you my OpenAI key, so that's why I'm going to paste here. Okay, so these are my OpenAI key that I have. Okay, let me show you, no issue. Okay, so this is the OpenAI key that I have. Okay, even the later part I will do the modification in this particular API key. Okay, now let me run our main.py file. So python main.py, let me press the enter button, and again as you can see here that we are going to define debug equal to true. It means the by default port number that we have of 5000. So as you can see, this is the link that we are getting. Let me copy this particular link. So here, from here that I'm going to copy this particular complete link. Let me open my browser, and now I'm going to create the new shell and let me paste here. Okay, so it will take a few seconds. So as you can see, this is our application that we have, OpenAI GPT chat, and here as you can see we are getting the complete chat message window. Here we can write our query, whatever the query that we have, we can click on the submit button, and then we can generate our complete output. So we will get the output here in this particular chat message section as well as in our output section. So let's ask some of the query. Okay, so here the query badge that I'm going to ask, who is the founder of Facebook. Let me ask some query. Let me click on the submit button. So yes, submit. Now as you can see, it will take a few seconds to generate our complete output. Meanwhile, let me check it out our VS Code as well. Okay, so I got the error here. So OpenAI error, invalid request, unrecognized request argument, supplied temperature. Okay, so look like a temperature spelling mismatch that I have. So what I can do, let me define the temperature spelling. Okay, now let me rerun again. So yes, we are going to start our application again. So let me rerun once. Now again that I'm going to ask, so who is the founder of Facebook? Let me click on the submit button. Now as you can see, the founder of Facebook is Mark Zuckerberg. Now let me ask some other query, similar types of the query. Who is the founder of Instagram? Let me click on the submit. Now whatever the recent output that we will get, so recent output that we will get here, so the Instagram founders are Kevin and Mike. Okay, now let's ask some other types of the query. Okay, so what is the, okay, so evaluation matrix for regression in machine learning. Let me click on the submit button. Let's wait a few seconds because it will take a few seconds to generate our complete answer. So now as you can see, root mean square RMSE, the matrix measure the average magnitude of the error by taking the square root of the average of square differences between the predicted and actual value. Second, that we have the mean absolute error. Third, that we have the mean square error, and fourth, that we have R square. Fifth, that we have adjusted R square. And as you can see, same output, whatever the recent output that we have, the recent output that we are getting here. Now what I'm going to do, let me change this particular question, and this time that I'm going to ask some different types of the question. So the evaluation matrix for a classification in machine learning. Let me click on the submit button. Let's wait few more seconds. Yes, so now we are getting our complete answer here. So first is accuracy, second is a precision, third is a recall, fourth is a F1 score, fifth is a ROC curve, sixth is a AOC curve, and the complete explanation that we are getting here. Okay, so in this way that we can create our complete ChatGPT clone, and with the help of this particular clone, now no need to open a ChatGPT platform. We can use our own platform, whatever the platform that we have developed. Okay, so yes guys, this is all about our ChatGPT clone application. Let me know if you face any types of the issue. Make sure you can follow the same steps, whatever the steps that I have followed here, and the complete resources are available in the description section. So first try to write your own code. If you face any types of the issue, in this case take a references from our description section. Okay, so yes, this is all about our ChatGPT clone application. Make sure you can like the video, subscribe the channel and share with your friends. See you in our upcoming project. Thank you.